Good evening, and I'd like to call to order our September 18th, 2018 Piqua City Commission meeting. Let us stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have our roll call, please?
Mayor Hines.
Here.
Commissioner Martin.
Here.
Commissioner Vogt is absent this evening. Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Short.
Here.
I move we excuse Bill from the meeting tonight.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Commissioner Vogt is excused. And now we move to announcements. Do we have any announcements this evening from the public? If not, we will move to our consent agenda then.
There's one item on the consent agenda tonight. It's the approval of the minutes from September 4th, 2018, regular city commission meeting.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda passes. And now we move to our new business. The first is resolution number R-123-18.
A resolution authorizing a purchase order to Kenworth of Richfield for the purchase of a dump truck for the Public Works Department.
Mr. Brookhart will provide the staff report.
Good evening. The Public Works Department would like to purchase a 2018 Kenworth T370 dump truck for the street department using the NJPA contract that's competitively bid. The truck would be purchased through Kenworth of Richfield. We had the opportunity to demo several different trucks in looking at this truck and feel that this Kenworth truck will fit our needs the best out of everything that we demoed. The truck had the best turning radius, which will benefit us when plowing snow in cul-de-sacs. We took all the trucks that we demoed out to cul-de-sacs that we drive in, and this truck handled those cul-de-sac turns better than the other trucks that we had in here. This truck is outfitted with a pre-wet system that will spray liquid on the salt inside the auger box at the rear of the truck. This process allows the salt to activate faster on the roadway for a faster snow and ice melt. This truck also has an in-cab computerized force system that electronically controls how much salt is being delivered to the roadway, which will help reduce salt waste. We have this same force system in two of our F550s that we have had for several years now, and have been extremely pleased with that system and how it delivers salt to the roadway. We know exactly how much salt we're putting down per mile of roadway. The truck came in under budget at $148,786, and that includes a 5-year, 100,000-mile engine warranty on the truck. This truck will be replacing one of our 2005 Freightliner single-axle trucks that we currently use for snow removal.
Okay, thank you. I noticed that it's been budgeted for $200,000 and it's $148,786, so we're saving over $50,000 on what was budgeted, correct?
Yes, these trucks have gone way up in price since we made purchases back in 2005 and 2006, and we we're very fortunate to get this truck at this price. This is a truck that's already built, it's ready to go. It can be delivered the day after they receive a purchase order.
Excellent, great. Any questions or comments from the commission on this resolution?
Yeah, what is an engine after treatment warranty?
Basically, the engine after treatment warranty is the original warranty is 3 years and 36,000 miles. So this will extend that. It's stating that it extends that warranty out for another 2 years, so it will cover every component anything that would fail for an additional 2 years would be covered under that warranty still.
Okay, all right.
Anything else? Any questions or comments from our public on this resolution? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for resolution number R-123-18.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution passes. And now we move to resolution number R-124-18.
A resolution awarding a contract to Double J Construction for the Fort Piqua Plaza paver modification project.
At the request of 3 commissioners, this item is being brought back before the City Commission for your consideration. This project really consists of removing the existing brick pavers, removing the uplighting, which I understand has never really worked, and adding a new concrete subbase and reinstalling the existing pavers. I do have a picture for you just to show that here's the real issue that we have, where the sinking along the curb line creates a trip hazard, and that's what we're trying to alleviate with the concrete subbase. The problem is, in the evening or after dark, people coming out of the plaza and the other stores trip on that and fall. It's a risk to us. You can see in the bottom picture, they should be, the brick should be up next to the curb, right, even with it, so that there's no trip hazard. So that's the real purpose in being preventative on this and addressing the safety issues for this project. So it's for your consideration.
Okay.
How
All
do
right.
how do they hold the brick pavers in place?
Pardon?
How do they hold the brick pavers
They'll
in
be
place?
grouted with sand after that.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments from the commission?
Thanks for the explanation.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
I think the idea that it's a legal issue
Yeah,
also.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Okay, any questions or comments from the public on this resolution? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution R-124-18.
I'll second it.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Hines,
Aye?
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner Short.
Aye.
Okay, the resolution passes. And now we move to resolution number R-125-18.
A resolution to award a contract to Kinnison Excavating Incorporated for wastewater pump station replacement and elimination project.
Mr. Melvin will provide the staff report.
Thank you, sir. We're here tonight to ask for your permission to continue with our wastewater pump project. We would like to begin the construction phase. We have Dave Kinnison here from Kinnison Excavating to answer any questions if they arise. We have 4 pump stations that we're wishing to replace. They would be Candlewood, Maplewood, Orchard, and Stratford. And we'd also install gravity sewer from the front of the mall to the back of the mall and eliminate the mall pump station. There'd also be other work at Echo Lake, Lake Ridge, and Eagles Nest installing switchgear. So in case if we were to have power failures, we'd be able to pull a generator out there and still run the stations. And then also hook up communications to those various stations. We'd had about 2 months of bids posted, and then on August 15th, we opened bids, and Kinnison was the sole bidder. And so we would wish to enter into an agreement with Kinnison Construction to start that project.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the commission on this resolution?
Any idea why the budgeted and the expenditure is so far out of whack?
The budgeted will be covered. We had local resources as part of the funding for Ohio Public Works Commission. There's a $1 million 0% interest loan, and then there's also a grant. But the city has to have their local resources as part of the funding agreement.
Yeah, the 667 was our share of the project.
Okay, cool. All right, I was just wondering.
Yeah. Good question, though. Good question.
Any other questions or comments from the commission?
Just like that someone local bid on it, and we'll be working on it.
Also, with being local, the crane pumps were spec'd as well, so There's pumps being manufactured in this town, being used.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Will all the pumps have, will all of the pump stations be basically the same when you're done?
Correct, as far as crane pumps and being submersible in nature, but they will be various sizes. Some will be 5 horsepower, some will be all the way down to 2 horsepower, just depending on the application.
And then the interface, will all the interfaces on all the pump stations be the same?
Correct.
Okay, all right, cool.
All right, any other questions from the commission? Any questions or comments from the public on this resolution? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move we adopt resolution number R-125-18.
I'll second it.
Has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the resolution passes. And now we move to the public comment portion of the meeting. Do we have any public comment this evening?
My name is Paul Bubeck, 921 Camp. I've been gone for a while, and when I left, you had some meetings scheduled for different things in the city, and I don't know if any of the things about houses and yards and what have you was ever discussed, because I don't see a whole lot of improvement in houses in town.
Just to address your question on that, we're probably with our code enforcement, we've issued over the past 2 years, we're probably close to 900 citations. About 60% of those have been complied with when it comes to houses and so forth. And I guess we have a number of cases in court right now. Sometimes it takes that to get them done, but there have been a lot of those cases that have been resolved. Now, that's different than trash and weeds. And this year alone, I think it's been hundreds of cases, and we still have issues where people, they might mow the first time and then quit mowing again. So it's an everyday job to deal with those things.
But I see yards, the grass is cut, which is fine, but when you see weeds growing up the whole side of a house all over the place, it don't look any prettier.
Well, and we agree completely with you on that. And we're addressing it every single day. And as I said, we're probably 900 or more violations that have been cited and so forth.
It seems like the biggest issue is rental property.
I'll be quite honest with you, it varies. I mean, there's both.
I mean, I can drive around town and I can pick out rental properties for the most part.
It's not all rental, but it does include them, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment this evening?
Good evening. I'm Larry Hamilton of 1104 Maplewood Drive. I want to thank City Manager Gary Huff, Mayor Kazi Hines, and Commissioner Chris Lee in regards to the meeting which took place on 9/4/18. As a result of that discussion, I better understood my level of misunderstanding with the city ownership identity of the adjacent property next to my lot at 655 North Main Street. To me, the principal outcome of that meeting was the recognition that open dialogue is a sure way to avoid greater strife, contention, and confusion. And I sure wish the city of Piqua would have possessed a higher level of commitment to Resolution R-110-07 and had accepted more willingness in valuing and memorializing the struggle for freedom. A part of my problem in some instances is that I am only one. But at the same time, I am one who feels empowered and emboldened by God to make a total commitment to my personal vision for Piqua, and I am willing to continue this struggle to glorify God and memorialize and honor the ancestors by any means necessary to be undertaken with the focus upon doing the right thing. To this end, I want to take a little time to inform the Commission and my Piqua neighbors of an enactment earlier this year by President Donald Trump. President Trump signed into law a bill that establishes the 400 Years of African American History Commission to develop and carry out activities throughout the United States to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the arrival of Africans in the English colony near Jamestown, Virginia in 1619. The Commission must plan programs to acknowledge the impact that slavery and laws that enforce racial discrimination had on the United States. It also encourages civic, patriotic, historical, educational, artistic, religious, and economic organizations to organize and participate in anniversary activities. It assists states, localities, and nonprofit organizations to further the commemoration and coordinate for the public scholarly research on the arrival of Africans in the United States and their contributions to this country. The City Commission and the residents of Piqua are uniquely equipped to plan events and activities in association with this observance because of the connection of Piqua to the Randolph historical narrative. In fact, in my humble opinion, there is no African and or African American historical legacy associated with slavery in the United States history greater than that which can be seen and studied through the connectivity of the African nation of Benin's involvement in the transatlantic slave trade and the purchase of that slave labor by Randolph family members in colonial Virginia. The Randolphs were related to many of the founding fathers of the nation who exploited slave labor in order to advance their own struggle for freedom in America against the tyranny of Great Britain. But they lacked commitment to the democratic principles and God-given rights expressed as ideas in our Declaration of Independence. Their failures and institutionalized privileges would embark the nation upon a course of internal conflict in fighting the Civil War and a period of Jim Crow oppression and slavery by other names for over a century thereafter. Even today, the struggle for freedom continues against so-called cultural warriors, evoking patriotic fervor over our flag and the singing of our national anthem, which is still directly tied to the Randolph narrative of Piqua and the need to be informed by way of an inclusive historical heritage. Whose we are matters who we are. Thank you.
Larry, can I ask a clarification question?
Absolutely.
So the 400 years is 1619, so it would be next year, not this year?
Correct.
Is there an actual date for that?
I believe it's August 2nd. Don't hold me to that, but I think it might be August 2nd as the actual observance of the anniversary. But I don't want us to get bogged down with a particular date. Rather, I think that we ought to be considering ongoing events and activities throughout the course of the year. So I wanted to particularly avoid February as Black History Month, where we would designate or delegate, some observance in connection with the 400th anniversary. But throughout the entire year, there should be some activities taking place that would commemorate the 400th anniversary.
Do you have ideas as to what?
As a matter of fact, thank you. I have lots of ideas, and I would love to be in a position to share with many others who have an interest in promoting the observation of the anniversary, particularly in conjunction with the Randolph narrative. So I welcome the opportunity to share with people. As a matter of fact, I was just in the library today asking why there wasn't a greater promotion of the traveling exhibit in association with the Randolph exhibition that is in the Piqua Library. I think it's an excellent opportunity for Piqua to promote itself and that recognition of its inclusive historical heritage. But we're not taking advantage of a lot of the opportunities that we have before this city to shine a light on many positive things that we could be involved in.
Well, and I would say, having been involved with the Black History Month out there with Marva Archibald at Edison and a variety of other people, I would encourage you to tap into those of us up here that would be willing to be part of that, folks at Edison, folks at the churches as well, and maybe just form a committee and start now with you at the lead, because I think you have the passion and the vision, but to get a committee around you to then start thinking and brainstorming about what these ideas can be and what these events can be. I agree. I think it's important to acknowledge it, but we're going to need somebody like you and your passion to bring a group of us together to start talking about that at this point.
And the more people that know about the various ideas that you have, the more likely you're going to attract more people. So accessing the media at different levels, whether it's print or Channel 7, social media as well is another venue that you can access to get your ideas out so that people know what it is that you want.
Well, I really want to involve many people, and particularly people at the grassroots level.
They got to know
Yeah, I
in
was
order
going to
to
say,
get
you need
involved.
to tap them. I was going to
Yeah.
say, you need to tap them.
I don't want to necessarily take all of the responsibility on my shoulders. I think it should be a shared and mutual obligation and responsibility on the part of the citizens of Piqua. Now, I want to take a leadership role, okay? And I was frankly talking with some people today about utilizing the News or Lose game concept to promote a Randolph narrative that could be offered through all of the schools in the state of Ohio, and developing questions and then having others in various regions around the state use a Google document to edit and review and make suggestions as to how the questions that I may have already developed could be utilized at various grade levels, where they be, intermediate or junior high or high school. So that's one of the things, and just one simple thing, but I have lots of ideas, and I'd love to be able to have access to organizations and individuals to share additional information.
And I think you do have access to that. I think it's going to take you tapping and connecting with Dwayne Thompson, with Doreen Larson at Edison, and getting. And I think Commissioner Lee and myself would be very interested to be involved in this. I'm sorry to speak for you, Commissioner Lee, but I know that
No,
you
it's
have
fine.
passion for this
I
as
do.
well. But I think it's going to take you to grab those people you want. I agree it's going to take a group of people to do it, but we need you with the vision to kind of call all those people together to move us forward.
I appreciate that, and I think that this is a big first step on the part of having the citizens of the city of Piqua recognize that there is a leadership component on the city commission that wants to take an initiative, that wants to be involved, that wants to be a force driving forward this effort on behalf of the city to create a more inclusive historical heritage and honor those who've gone before us.
Well, it's an important anniversary, 400 years. It's an important anniversary to acknowledge, and I think together we can get. I really want to challenge. I don't. Challenge isn't the right word, but I want to encourage you to get some people together and start planning now, in order to make sure we have some things in line when that happens.
Thank
Okay?
you very much.
Great. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Any other public comment? If not, we will move to our city manager's report.
Yes, thank you. Just one item tonight. We received preliminary approval this week from the Ohio Public Works Commission for the award of a grant of $200,000 for replacement of storm catch basins throughout the city. So that'll probably most likely occur in 2019. That's all, unless
Okay.
anybody has any questions.
All right, Commissioner Martin?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Lee?
Yeah, I just want to thank the police department, having been a former member, I want to let them know that your officers are doing a great job, especially in my neighborhood. I've got a lot of neighbors that have been having issues with people breaking in their garage. Someone set fire on someone's car, caught another car on fire, and the police responded promptly. They're very courteous. They're very helpful. They asked questions, went door to door, did a great job. And the people that I spoke to spoke very highly of the police department, and of course, I'm always going to do that as well. So, good job. Other than that, Larry, let us know what we can do to help. We're willing to help, and you got to be willing to lead as well. So let us know what we can do.
Thank you. Commissioner Short?
Yeah, I have a couple things. First off, I'd like to recognize Sandra Getzendiner, who's a citizen of Piqua. A lot of people called her the bicycle lady. You always saw her around. She had a beautiful smile, great soul. I had the great honor when she was attacked by the pit bulls on the bridge. I got to do the investigation and talk to all the people that rallied around her that helped save her life, and I actually presented to the commission at that time the awards for those subjects. And I just, when I went to the hospital to see her, she still smiled. I never saw that woman without a smile on her face, and I just really sad that she's no longer with us. The other thing I would like to talk about real quick is I did spend some time at the weekend at the Bike Fest out of Piqua Harley-Davidson. I think it was well attended. I know there was some controversy about it not being downtown again, but I think it went very well, and I saw a lot of motorcycles out there, and I got to talk to some of the vendors out there, and they seemed to be very pleased on how things were working out there. So that's all I have.
Great, thank you. It was a beautiful weekend for it. It was a little hot, but it was a beautiful weekend for it. But I drove by there, and there were a lot of people out there, so that's wonderful to have here in our city. The only comment I want to make is, you know, our high school football, speaking of our police and fire, our high school football game is so much more than just a high school football game. I mean, they do a great job of honoring and recognizing people in our community. And this past Friday night, they recognized our police and fire department. I know coming up, there's going to be some veteran recognition, I believe, at our Piqua-Troy game. But, you know, it's not just going to a football game. It's connecting with your community. It's connecting with one another in conversations and coming together. So just a great reminder that if you got nothing else better to do on Friday night, go check out Friday Night Lights at Alexander Stadium. There's always some wonderful things going on. And I'll tell our football team, they're doing well.
Yep.
They are doing well. And we need to get out there and support them. So other than that, I have nothing else. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.